And hello, everybody. You're live at Sherry Talk Radio Monday night, April 28th. If you have a question for the show, you can send it to SherryTalkRadio at yahoo.com. Unable to sign into my messenger right now. Not real sure what the problem is with it. But that's all right. I can live without it. I think I'll have to find something else. People have been listening to my show the last 4 years, and I sent this out earlier in the week. We'll be glad they started stocking up back then. And people who war in their areas will be glad they did. You know, the famine is just the first phase of things to come. Then we have Cain and Maitreya and Islam and Iran to deal with and push for global Islam. And like I've stated on the show before, particularly over the summer, Maitreya, this coming Iranian Mahdi, this Arab Mahdi that's coming, their Messiah, is nothing but a clone of Cain. They've found his bones somehow. They've been able to clone him. And this is the body that this Maitreya will have. Maitreya himself is just a fallen angel in the form of I don't know if he's a tall gray or what, one of the hideous bodies that some of these fallen angels have. And so he's going to use a cloned body of Cain to arrive on the earth in. And I found it very interesting last night. I was woken up about 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's pretty typical for me. Only getting about, if I try to sleep at night, I'll only get 4 or 5 hours blocks of sleep at a time. Because usually they start to play. And when the Lord wants me to know they're around, He'll wake me up. And I heard something land on the roof of the house. I don't know what it was. Sounded like some kind of a pod or something. I don't know how they do it. It's a pitched roof, whatever. You know, nothing in our realm seems to be able to bother the spiritual realms things. And so I just asked the Lord to chase them out with fire. Take care of that one real swiftly. I spent about 2 seconds on Satan and the next 2 hours talking to God. I mean, they're not going to inhibit me in any way. Because we have the power of the Lord, and all of you do. If you're being harassed by beings, you can't see them, but you know they're around, just ask the Lord to chase them out with fire. And tell them to burn them. Tell them to chain them and cast them into the abyss. You know, get rid of them. Don't fool with them. Don't give them more than 2 minutes of your time and energy. That's even too much. You know, I give them about 2 seconds. And that just comes through practice over the years and putting up with as much stuff if you have to over the years as a child of the Lord's. Because they're always on the attack, especially when your eyes start opening to what's going on around you with the New World Order, with the alien agenda. They start to attack you. They follow you around everywhere on the internet, all the sites you visit, and once they realize that, hey, this person's waking up, it's their goal to put the sheep back in their box, to keep them in a mind-controlled religion box. They want you to stay in your churches and listen to your pastors, folks. What's that tell you about Satan's agenda? He's confident in today's whores, the churches, that you're never going to learn the truth. And if you stay in them, you never are. And so that's why they only seem to attack those who are waking up, as opposed to those who just stay in the churches, because they don't mind those people at all. They're being deceived, they're being lied to. Their pastors are all coming out of ordained ministries that are run by Satanists. So do you really think Satan cares if you're sitting in church every day? No, he doesn't care less, because you're under one of his people. Every seminary in America is run and operated by the New World Order and the Satanists. And so that's why your pastors only teach from denomination to denomination, to church, there's very few changes in them, disagreements over a doctrine here or there. And that's why we have over 100,000 different denominations, church on every corner. And it gets ridiculous. And they all come from the same pods, folks. They're peas out of the same pod. So that's why you're never really going to learn the true truth from any of them. The Lord has told me repeatedly that every church has a piece of the truth. Not one church has it all. And, you know, for spending 30 years in the churches myself, I can tell you every church has problems with doctrines. They just sweep under the rug. And if you dare question any of them, you usually get the cold shoulder of, well, that you're a rebel, that you're going to go to hell, that if you leave the church, you're going to go to hell because everybody else is going to hell. Protestants are going to, the Pentecostals are going to hell, the Catholics are going to hell. If you're Baptist, everybody's going to hell with the Baptists, and the same thing with the Lutherans and the Methodists, and now you have non-denominational churches coming up that everybody snubs at, and it's just the same mind control, folks. They want to keep you in the mind control box. And so only when you break out of that box and you start to ask the Lord to reveal the truth to you in all things, do you become a threat to Satan and his kingdom. And that's the only time. Start asking the Lord for the truth in all things, because you'll start a journey that you never thought possible. All the lies you believed in will be exposed as lies and doctrinal errors as they are, and the Lord will start stripping away all the lies and errors you've been under. And He's not going to do that until you seek Him for it. Otherwise, you're just going to sit in it. He's going to allow you to stay in errors. You can talk about how much you love the Lord and proclaim your love for the Lord all you want to, but until you actively seek Him to get rid of the errors you may have, you're always going to just sit in them. He allows that. He allows you to just sit in your errors until you come to Him directly. A lot of things happening coming up. Wanted to talk about some more on this famine, because it really is the telltale sign things are going to get rolling. Because it's this worldwide famine, the rider of the black horse. That's very much next on the agenda, and it's already here. It's already here. From all intents and purposes, from what I can see in the codes, is this Maitreya, this Cain. I don't know what name he's actually going to use when he comes. He may use Maitreya. He may pick up some different name. He's already here. From what I can see, they're already being plagued and limited by the orgone that we have in the air. The Lord's warriors have been busy the last several years getting orgone out everywhere. I know I've been hearing from a lot of people that are just waking up to what's going on, and the three things the Lord's having them do is stock up on food, stock up on ammo, and stock up on orgone, and to get orgone out in their areas. Because it really will be a deterrent to some of the coming things that are coming, these alien forces. There's several different types of alien invasions. And people always ask me, who are these aliens? Folks, they're nothing but fallen angels. NASA refers to them as extraterrestrial beings. Some people refer to them as extraterrestrial beings, extraterrestrial aliens. And I've said over and over, there's nothing extraterrestrial about them. They're from within our own universe. They're on our moons, on our planets. They're under our Earth. They have many, many bases underneath our Earth. And they're even on top of the Earth. They pose as humans. They inhabit human bodies. They control the governments of the world. Nothing being done in the world today is without them leading and directing it. I know I've spent time before. I wish I had more information that I could give you about it. But there is a council that sits above the Earth. And I don't know if it's this Ashtar Command. I don't know if it's a different council. But it's a council of high-ranking fallen angels. Call them aliens, fallen angels, whatever you want to. And they pretty much control the strings on the Earth. They control the governments of the world. They keep the people enslaved to governments, to economies, to money. Our way of life has just drastically, if you look at the way of life over the last several thousands of years, always being geared around economics, politics, enslaving the people. And it's got to the point now where 30% of your money is paid out in taxes. I often laugh when I think of that, because when the Israelites were slaves in Egypt, I don't know who it was, Josephus, I was reading some of his material, and they had to pay 10% in taxes, and so they were screaming they were in slavery. And how much are we paying in America? 30%? If you make more, they take more, they tax more. The more you make, the more they take. And so it really is outrageous. We're simply slaves. People are too broke to do anything, can't even afford the houses they live in, keeping a roof over their head, keeping a car on the road, everything taxed, everything controlled. Most people can't even afford the car they drive, let alone the insurance they have to pay to drive it, and then the endless fees with that. And so it goes on, and then you never really own anything, because even if you spend half your life paying for your house, if you don't pay the taxes, the government will take it. You never outright own anything. And it all goes back to this council of aliens that rule mankind for Satan above the earth. It's definitely tied into Satan. They work for him. And that's how Satan keeps control of the earth. It's a very hierarchical, ranked kingdom of Satan's. If you look at the corporate ladder or military structure, it's pretty much the same thing. And that's why you see such a mess in our own secret societies. If you look at the Masons and the Shriners and the Templars and all these different organizations, they're all based on ranks within them. And that's basically